perpendicular bisectors, extended. Section 5.1. If you recall yesterday, perpendicular bisectors. What's it mean to bisect, Martina? Cuts in half. What's it mean to be perpendicular, Ryan? So perpendicular bisector means it does what, Troy? What's it mean to be a perpendicular bisector, Troy? Cuts it in half at a right angle. That's what we're talking about today. Okay, so perpendicular bisectors is what we're going to finish up today on. I showed you this one yesterday, and I said this bottom half is what we're going to focus on today. Okay, this is what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be writing equations of lines that are perpendicular bisectors. Now, in order to do that, we're going to have the problem right here, this right here. You can write an equation for the perpendicular bisector of a segment. Consider the segment with endpoints -5, 6, and 1, 2. Well, in order to do this, for it to be a perpendicular bisector, it has to bisect, so it has to go in half, so you have to use the midpoint. So we will find the midpoint of 2 points. And then we have to find the slope. So you will then find the slope, and then you need to find the perpendicular slope. Okay, because it needs to be perpendicular, so I find the slope of the 2 points, I then find the perpendicular slope, and then I use those 2 bits of information, my midpoint, my perpendicular slope, and I'm going to put it into point slope form. Okay, so using a lot of information that we've already done, and we're just going to tie it all together into what is a perpendicular bisector. Again, using all the things that we've already done here, these last couple chapters, trying to tie it all into one problem here today. All right, so you'll have to know how to find midpoint. You'll have to know how to find slope and how to find a perpendicular slope. So those 2 things. Recognize, perpendicular slopes, remember, are negative reciprocals. So if that's my slope, my perpendicular slope is the negative reciprocal or opposite reciprocal. Okay. Now let's look at an actual problem here. This problem will take us step by step going through all of this. Okay. We're going to go step by step here. I have the points M and N. I want to write an equation for a perpendicular bisector. First thing says to plot M and N and draw MN. So I want to plot the coordinates of M and N. So M is located at 3, 2. N is located at 7, 6. So there's M and there's N. And I'm going to draw the line containing those 2 points right there. So there's my line that I want to put a perpendicular bisector through. Okay. So number 1 says I need to find the slope of MN. I need to find the slope. So remember, slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Hopefully you can recall, we've done a lot of slope recently. The slope of MN would be what? What is the slope there, Caitlin? It is 1. 6 minus 2 over 7 minus 3 gets me 1. Oh, I don't know. Oh, that's right. I fixed it. For some reason, I cut it out when I put it on here. So I had to add those back recently. I'll add a new one up there. So I have a slope of 1. Now, part number 2 says find the slope of the perpendicular bisector. So a perpendicular slope means it is a negative reciprocal. So my perpendicular slope is going to be what, Peyton? Negative 1. Nice job. Next, I need to use the midpoint formula to find the midpoint of MN. So remember, midpoint is nothing more than like finding the average, finding the middle. So you add them, divide by 2. Add them, divide by 2. So the midpoint of 3, 2, and 7, 6 would be the coordinate, Gabe? 5, 4. Nice job. So, again, you can do all of that information already. That's all work that you can do. Here's the new part now, is we're going to take all the information and combine it into something. All right? So I want to use the point slope form. which recall point slope, y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. Recall that. And write the equation for the perpendicular bisector. So I'm going to take my perpendicular slope and my midpoint, and I'm going to put this into point slope form. Who thinks they got this in point slope form? Max, what are you saying?
Y minus,
Yeah,
y minus 4 equals negative 1 parentheses x minus 5.
that is your answer right there. Again, it's nothing more difficult than you need to find slope, find perpendicular slope, and then find the midpoint. Okay, nothing more difficult than that. All right, let's go through another problem step by step here. Same exact type of work here. Number 4, I want to write an equation in point slope form for the perpendicular bisector of the equation with the given endpoints. So number 4 here, I want to start off by finding the slope. So I want to start off by finding the slope. So find the slope of A and B. You can find the slope here on your own. Find the slope of A and B. So remember, slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Bryce, what's my slope?
Negative 4/3.
Nice job. Negative 4 over 3 is correct. So now I need to find the perpendicular slope. What's my perpendicular slope going to be then, Tyler? Ooh, negative reciprocal. So I change my sign and I flip it. So 3/4. Now I find my midpoint. So using the midpoint formula, I find my midpoint. Midpoint of AB would be located where, Frosty? Add your x's. 6 plus 0 is divided by 2. Negative 3 plus 5 is divided by 2. So my midpoint is at the coordinates 3, 1. Now I have that information. I'm going to take my perpendicular slope and my midpoint, and I'm going to put that into point slope form. How would that look in point slope form, Troy? Nope. I want to use my midpoint. I have to use the midpoint, Ryan.
Y minus 1 equals 3/4 parentheses x minus 3.
Nice job, sir. That is correct. Y minus 1 equals 3/4 parentheses x minus 3. Okay. Again, it's not that difficult when you break out the steps and go step by step. Find the slope, perpendicular slope, midpoint, tie it all together. So let's do number 5. I want to find the slope. So I need to find the slope here of number 5. What would the slope of number 5 be? Camden?
I forgot to simplify. Negative 2 over... No? Hold on.
2 over 3. Nice job, Frost. The slope is 2/3. 7 minus 3 is 4. 2 minus negative 4 is 6. So that makes my perpendicular slope what, Hannah? What's my perpendicular slope then? Flip it and change the sign. Negative 3 over 2. Midpoint. What is my midpoint then? Midpoint, Jack, what do you say? Negative 1, 5. Now I have all my information. I'm going to take my perpendicular slope and my midpoint, and I'm going to put it into point slope form. How would that be in point slope form, Bryce?
Y minus 5 equals negative 2/3 minus 6x plus 1.
Is it negative 3 halves?
Yeah. Or negative.
And then x plus 1? Correct, sir. Nice job. That is it right there. Again, go step by step, and you can get these problems.
Where do you get?
Take these next two. Take a couple minutes, try these next two on your own.
Did you get?
All right, what's my slope to number 6? Anna, what's the slope? For my slope? Y2 minus Y1 or Y1 minus Y2 over X1 minus X2, either way you work it out. What do you get for slope, Martina? Number 6, slope?
Oh, number 6. I was like, I got number 7 yet. I got negative 1/2.
Negative 1/2 is my slope. Which means my perpendicular slope is what then, Johnny? What's my perpendicular slope?
I got midpoint is 1.5.
Okay. Midpoint's 1.5. I got you there. Good. So if my slope is negative 1/2, perpendicular means it's a negative reciprocal. So I change my
So it would just be
2 over 1 or just 2. Nice job. Now I take that information, my perpendicular slope, my midpoint, and I'm going to put that into point slope form, which would be what then, Ryan?
Y minus 5 equals 2 parentheses x minus 1.
Nice job. And if you challenge yourself and put that in slope-intercept form, that would be y equals 2x plus 3.
I had that right.
Number 7. Same thing here. Find the slope. What would the slope of number 7 be? Caitlin, slope? 3 over 2?
I thought you said negative 2. I was like,
Which means my perpendicular slope is what, Nick?
Negative 2, no. Yeah, negative 2. Okay.
Good. My midpoint is what, Austin? It is. Now again, I take my perpendicular slope, take my midpoint, put that into point slope form, which is what, Jack? Nice job, sir. That is correct. Good work.
Troy, don't even raise your hand.
Here is your assignment.